Podcast is back. Clay and I have an awesome guest. It's everybody's favorite Indian, and if you don't like it, don't worry about it. Yes, I stole the line from him. You saw him in 1923. He's a stock contractor from the Blackfeet Nation, right there in Browning, Montana. Ladies and gentlemen, Dougie Hall. You got to tell us about, I saw an interview with you the other day, and we talked about this, so I got my facts straight, so I didn't just go out there. But Monroe, Washington, you brought some bucking horses over there. Tell us about, the Steve Kenyon interview, and tell us all about kind of what you're doing with all the bucking horses and stock contracting.
Yeah, so we partnered up, my girlfriend Kay and I, we partnered up with Aces Wild Pro Rodeo out of Silver Lake, Washington. We had bucking horses that we'd purchased from my Uncle Mouse. Probably about, how long ago was that? Maybe 7, 8 years ago, somewhere around there. And anyway, we got these horses and start raising colts out of them, and then turns out, I knew they were going to be good, but shit, them horses were pretty damn good. And it was a pretty cool thing. And then, but we just had hell getting our horses bucked. You know what I mean? I think there's, how should I say this right? That's good. There's kind of a lack, kind of a lack of cowboys these days. You know what I mean? Especially in the rough stock events. And so, rough stock numbers are pretty limited, and we just had nowhere to get our horses bucked. And I was riding broncs in the Columbia River circuit, and I'd entered some Aces Wild Pro rodeos. I'd actually met one of the owners, Mark McMillan, at a pro rodeo in Cheney, Washington. I think I was still designated Montana, but I'd sneak over west every now and again. And he was in Cheney, and this guy comes up. He said, "Hey, are you related to Mouse Hall?" I told him, "Yeah, that's my uncle." And him and I got to bullshitting and talking about bucking horses. And all he told me was that he raises bucking horses too. That's all he told me. And anyway, you know what I mean? Just kind of really humble about it. And
right.
Shit, we were, years later, I designated Columbia River. First rodeo I went to was Grand Coulee, Washington, and Aces Wild Pro Rodeo had it. And I go behind the chutes and I look and I see the guy that was, I could tell he was the ramrod, the stock contractor. And I looked at him and I said, "Holy shit, that's that guy that I met in Cheney." I said, "He didn't tell me he had a whole ass stock contracting company. He just said he raised it." Yeah, I thought that's pretty cool because he was real humble about it. You know what I mean? And anyway, we got. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Right there in Browning, then is that where you live?
Yeah, just outside of Browning. Yeah, we raise them here, grow them up, and then we'll go ahead and buck them with the dummy. And the ones that look like they want to play rodeo and stuff, we'll send over west. And it's been a pretty good deal for us. And like I said, shoot, we had hell getting our horses bucked, but we met Mark and Lynette McMillan, and they said, "Well, we'll buck your horses for you." And then we had 2 of them at that time that were like rider age and the real deal. And so we sent them over there and just to get outs on them. And shit, they both made the Columbia River Circuit finals. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, it was definitely a blessing. And I think that just goes to show, when you surround yourself with good people, good things will happen.
Yeah.
Do you think it helps that you were a rider going forward now owning bucking horses, or?
Oh, hell yeah. I being a guy that's actually nodded his head before on a bucking horse and on a lot of bucking horses, and anywhere, from I've gotten on horses from, like high school level, and, in the horses that were like, I should say I've been on the horses that are like from like tryout, never seen a human. Well, flip over and crush you in a buck and shoot and just do, they're, never seen a human before, all the way to the best horses in the world, horses that have gone to the national finals. So I know what it feels like to get on every single one of those kind of animals. And, the ones that are wild and haven't been messed with and they don't know what people are. And I thought, shit, getting flipped on really don't feel that good.
Right.
Because I've had it happen. I've been crushed, and I've had horses come out of the chute with me and run 90 miles an hour to the end of the arena and smoke the fence and flip over backwards on me. And I've had that happen a lot. And I got to where I thought, you know what, I think I know I can do this, and I know I can do this good. And so first thing I did is I went and got educated about it. I started hanging out with my uncle Mouse Hall, and he's got some of the best bloodlines in the world. He was partnered with Flying Five and Big Ben for a lot of years, and
Wow.
and then I think it was my senior year at college. I went to work for Sparky Dreesen with J Bar J because I needed an internship that incorporated business and horses, and so I got a hold of Sparky, and then I hung out a lot with so the rough stock coach at that time when I was going to Dillon, Montana Western. I should say the saddle bronc coach. His name's Jake Hayworth, and so I owe my bucking horse knowledge to three guys: to Mouse Hall, Jake Hayworth, and Sparky Dreesen. I just kind of took everything they taught me and mushed it into one. And is it perfect? I don't think so, but it's dang sure a lot better than some.
Yeah. No, I love how he's being a little political correctness a little bit. He's like, yeah, it's better. But no, that's awesome though. And Sparky is a great dude. So did you have to go and live in Circle, Montana with Sparky?
Only for like 1 week, like a week and some change, because I went over there and it was it was January, and went over there, and I just helped him get stuff ready to take over to the Montana Circuit Finals, and we were getting ready to go there and shit. I remember we were getting ready to leave. Heck, we woke up at it was me and his other truck driver. His truck driver's name was Garrett Fitzpatrick at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, shit, we woke up at like 4 a.m, and it was like piss. I think the wind chill, it was like 40 below. We had to go out and get horses sorted and get them ready. And I didn't have long johns on. I actually I got a scar on my leg from I got like just a little bit of frostbite from that morning. And, yeah.
Wait, when was that?
Shit, that was in like 2016.
Oh.
Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, it was pretty dang cool. Sparky, he was one of the best teachers I ever had, because he just threw me into the mix. You know what I mean? That's the best way to learn is hands on. And we went to the circuit finals, got back from the circuit finals. From the circuit finals, we went right to Fort Worth, Texas. And shit, he gave me one of his one of his Dodge pickups with it was like a 30-some foot gooseneck. And he loaded me down with I bet you it had to be like about $2-3 million worth of bucking horse flesh in that trailer. And I was in my early 20s, and I was just like, holy shit, like if I screw up, I'm gonna owe this guy a lot of money. And he just said, all right, good luck, kid, I'll see you in Texas.
Yeah. You know how to get to Fort Worth? All right, son, go ahead, you drive.
Holy
Meet
shit.
you there.
Yeah, and it was like black ice for like the first probably 500 miles. Like it was, coming out of Montana and down into South Dakota and Nebraska and all that. It was pretty wild.
I bet you were drinking plenty of coffee on that trip.
Oh, I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. It was spooky, because when you're like that green and you see, you're in charge of driving that truck all the way to the south end of the, of the country. And you see NFR stickers getting on your trailer, but no, Sparky, I really appreciate him and Marlene for that. You know, they trusted
Yeah.
me, and they gave me a lot of confidence, and I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for that experience.
They're awesome. They're awesome people. And
Yeah.
okay, here's we're gonna change it a little bit, but so all three of us grew up in Montana. Okay. Clay, you and Dougie have been there working at the Montana or competing in the Montana Circuit Finals. My question to you guys is why the coldest place for a circuit finals? Why do they do the Montana Circuit Finals in January in Great Falls, Montana?
I
And
don't know, man. Like,
it's crazy because, like, well, what was it? Dougie probably would have been a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
A couple, 2 years ago. It was literally like 60 below, and I was like, no way people will come to the rodeo. And sure enough, Friday and Saturday just filled it, packed it, and I'm like, I guess this is why they have it every time because they're never gonna not get people to come, and everyone's bored, I guess, and don't matter how cold it is.
yeah.
But it is hard probably on the horses and stuff like that in the stomach.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, I've never figured that out. I'm like, okay, besides maybe the Maple Leaf Circuit, it's the coldest place for their circuit, and then like they do it in January. I'm like, why not do it in October when the Badlands and Columbia River and stuff like that, where places that get cold? But you know, yeah, I'm not making those decisions, and I know you guys aren't either. But I thought maybe you would give a little insight. Dougie probably knows.
I mean, well, shoot, I've never made the Montana Circuit Finals. I've been there just hanging out with my buddies.
Oh, sure.
The only one I've made was the Columbia River when I went over there. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I don't know. I think it's a few different things. I think it's maybe I don't know. Would you say it's centrally located, or is it kind of out of the way?
Well, that too. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean centrally located, and I mean they've had it there, and like I mean Montana's rodeo country. It's it's
Oh yeah.
cowboy country. Like shoot, there's tons and tons of rodeo fans, and I mean you get a show like that, something prestigious like that, like the circuit finals, everybody's going to want to come to it, and they pack that place. And shoot,
They do.
what's crazy to me is they pack it so much that they have to put up a big screen behind the bleachers, and just put chairs back there for people to watch it on that big screen, and it just almost become
Right.
like tradition, and
Yeah.
people love it. And I guess when people love something, you just run with it. I don't know.
Just keep going. Just keep on
No
keeping
matter
on.
how cold it is.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think too. Like, I think a good thing is probably I don't know if this is why. This is just what I think is maybe they do it in January because what the hell else are you gonna do in Montana in January? You know what I mean? You're gonna get a lot of money made on the circuit finals because nobody's got anything to do. They'll come to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I'm sure that arena, I'm sure they like it, they like it there because there is really nothing else going on. So it's an event going on in January that'll sell out for 3 nights in a row. And yeah, I know I just couldn't figure out, man, so cold there. But anyways,
Yeah.
so Dougie, you got to tell us, I want to start here. When did you start doing the social media videos? Like just the selfie, just you out there kind of giving, I would say, encouragement to people. I think you have impacted a lot of lives from just doing this. And I love how you enter it. It's everybody's favorite Indian, Dougie Hall here. And then I love how you say, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. When
Yeah.
did you start doing that? I mean, when was that?
I started doing that probably like 3-4 years ago, and what's I don't know. I was going through a tough time, and I needed and my dad always told me you got to get back to your basics.
Yeah.
Um, I was pretty lost there for a while, and I thought, well, what makes Dougie Dougie? What's my basics? And it was always horses and bucking horses. So I was scrolling through social media, saw some videos of a place called Veeder Ranch down in
Mm-hmm.
Coarse Gold, California, and I see this guy. His name's George Veeder. He's like, dang near 60 years old, and he looks like he's in his 30s. Like he's just cut and fit, and I mean, just and spurring, and he's riding broncs still and riding them good. You know, he's not hanging and rattling. And then I see that he's you know, he's got everybody from like high school level all the way up to NFR guys like Dawson Hay and Lefty Holman, and
Oh.
going to his ranch and stuff. And everybody's just smiling. And to me, that was good medicine. I thought I need some of what those guys got. So I messaged George, and he told me to call him in the new year. And I asked him if I could come down, and he said, "Yeah, I did come down as soon as you can." So shit, I jumped in my Chevy Malibu and drove like 20 some hours. I should have flew. That was, you know, but I drove and made her
Just
to,
excited.
yeah, excited, made her to California, and rode broncs there with those guys. And I just felt rejuvenated. My spirit felt a lot better. Anyway, I met Mang Lee with Makeline Productions, and he's George's social media guy. And he said, "Hey, Dougie, I was visiting with your cousin Chase Brooks and Lori O'Harver from Bronc Riding Nation, and we all agree that you got a gift and you don't use it." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, when you talk, people listen, and you got a story to tell." I said, "Well, how do I use it?" He said, "Just start videoing yourself talking on social media and post it." And I said, "Well, what do I say?" He said, "Just speak from your mind and your heart." And I said, "But Mang, you know, sometimes my mind and my heart cuss." And and he said, "Just say it anyway." So I did, and shit, it took off like wildfire. And
Oh,
it's been pretty good to me. You know, it's I heard one time that, you know, everybody's got a gift, and whenever you find out what your gift is and you start to use it, your gift's going to make room for you financially.
sure.
And you know, you got to use it. You got to cultivate that kind of stuff. And so shoot, I just start doing it, and it's been a lot of fun since.
How long did it take till you felt like comfortable, you know? Cuz like it's always you sit there and you got to record yourself. Like that's not a very it's not like a very comfortable thing to do at first cuz you just feel weird.
Yeah,
But now you've done it so long, it's just like, you know, second nature, I guess.
it's it took quite a while because I mean, especially being an Indian, you know, growing up on a reservation, um yeah, Indian kids tease really rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, you don't put certain things out there cuz you know like get made fun of.
My friends are gonna roast me. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna roast you and this and that. But and then I don't know, I think it took me a while, but the best thing was just I don't know how I did it, but it just turning off that uh I guess that switch where you care about what people think. And then, you know, and what I start doing is I start like really looking at it. And when you look at it, you know, the people that are criticizing you, or I mean, I guess, how should I say, the people that are like gonna have something bad to say about you,
Sure.
you know, would you really want to trade places with those people? Like, look where they're at in their
Mm-hmm.
life. You know what I mean? And I mean, pray for those people, because you don't want anybody to do bad. You know, lack of money.
Right. Right.
I think lack of money is the root of all evil. Not money. It's the lack of money, in my opinion. And
Sure.
but you know, in all reality, like them people saying that at that time, are they really in a good place? You know, with themselves. You know, what's going on with their life that they feel they, you know, have to tell you something to belittle you. You know, what's going on with them? And you know, just kind of really breaking things down like that without just reacting. You know what I mean? And so I just
Right.
learned how to just uh, put a F on my bucket list, and on the F on the B of my bucket list, and just throw that kind of stuff in there.
uh,
Uh,
but the cool thing is, though, is I mean, yeah, you're always gonna have some people that are, you know, come at you maybe in a negative way. But for you now doing this for a few years now, you've had to have had a lot. I mean, and I've seen it on there. I mean, you look on your social media, you have to have a lot of like the positives. And there's probably a lot of young kids that grew up in, you know, whether it's Browning or whatever reservation that really look up to you and that's got to be really awesome to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the best thing I do is like, I don't, I mean, I don't, what the hell? Somebody told me like, you got to take the joke. It was my buddy, Will Shirley. And he's one of the guys that actually, helped me get started in the bucking horse business. Him and I are partners on the original 6 horses that we got from Mouse,
Okay.
whatever colts that come out of those original 6 horses that I sell, he gets 20% of that sale. And
Sure.
and he's one of my best friends since high school. And anyway, we I got to talking with him because when people say negative shit about you, it's gonna bother you. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
you know what I mean? That's just human nature. And he told me you got to take the Joe Rogan approach. Just don't read comments. And so,
Yeah.
like, whenever I'd go through the comments on anything, I would just look for either a picture or a name of somebody that I knew or somebody I knew that was like positive or influential, or a blue check mark. And I would read that comment, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew it was, it was probably going to be something encouraging.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed too is like when somebody leaves like a hateful comment or they try to run you down, or if they're jealous of you or if they're threatened by you, they're going to try to find something in you that is a weakness and they're going to poke at it. And, and a lot of them are pretty brave, especially like, I don't know, a lot of Indian guys are like this. They're pretty brave behind a keyboard or like behind a phone and like
Yeah.
shit like that. But then like you see them in person, they're like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and, when they leave hateful comments like that on a post or whatever, um, if you just let it sit there and you just let it marinate, those guys are going to look like the biggest asshole that ever walked the
Yeah.
earth. And
Yeah.
everybody is going to come to your rescue and just attack that person if you just leave
Mm-hmm.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Well, and
Huh.
really, sometimes, like, what's the point of even commenting back? Like, it's just a waste of time because all it's going to do is turn into an argument on there. And then,
yeah.
it's just kind of like, well, that was a waste. So there's no good that comes out of a instant hate comment. And then
Yeah.
if you comment back, then an argument breaks out. Like, there's just no time for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
No.
yeah. It is pretty wild, the stuff people will randomly put, though. The stuff shocks me all the time. I'm like, dang, like, whatever,
Yeah. And I mean, I want to like, I guess get this out there, the people that have helped me and helped save my life have been um, addicts and alcoholics that are in recovery that are doing better for themselves. And a lot of the times, like the hate that I get is from somebody that's still active in addiction or alcoholism. And one thing I've learned is that arguing with an active addict or alcoholic is a lot like wrestling with a pig in the mud. You know, pretty soon you're gonna find out the pig just likes it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Sure.
And in the end, you're both gonna be dirty. Like, so what's the point? You know what I mean? Like,
I love this analogy. I love this one. Yeah.
you
No,
know?
you're totally right though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
good.
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, I do remember, probably 3 years ago when you started to do all of them, and it was just, I mean, they're lighthearted, they're encouraging, they're fun, like, and you have a great personality for that, and the way that you tell those, even as in a little clip, the way that you tell a story and just encourage everybody is really cool. And I mean, I've never met you in person in my life, but like I follow you and like everything. It's awesome to see it.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Garrison. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Okay, let's switch gears. We got to go. We got to talk about the acting now, because not only are you on Instagram, man, you are a big time actor.
Uh, I that I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, like, shoot, it all came from, a couple of things. I'm really blessed in that way that Creator brought that kind of stuff into my life. But it all came from being my own best friend, being fair to
Mm-hmm.
myself, and doing what I wanted to do with my life. And I start posting these videos, and pretty soon people are like, "Who in the hell is this Dougie Hall guy?" And they start, um, shoot, I ended up getting a pretty huge following, and word got out, and then um, I was on the first Horizon doing some stunt riding, and I met my buddy Steven Yellowtail out um, down on the Crow Res there, and anyway, so me and Steven, we become really good friends. We're some of the best of friends now, and um, he introduced me to Ian and Caroline Munzik, and we ended up doing the White Buffalo music video, the White Buffalo documentary, um, and uh, Steven's actually the one who introduced me to Mo, and um, I was gonna do some what the hell I was supposed to do a scene on Bass Reeves, but I had some stuff with my merchandise business that I couldn't walk away from, and so anyway, I got introduced to Mo. I was supposed to go and do that, but I, sent him in the direction of another reliable uh, guy to do that scene, and we just stayed in touch. And me and Mo become good friends too. And now he's like my big brother, and him and Sarah Ann have been like a big brother and sister to me, and they helped me, really get my foot in the door in the movie business, and I really appreciate those guys for that. And
Yeah.
especially my girlfriend Kay, like I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her. You
Mm.
know, she's the one who holds everything down and keeps everything running. You know what I mean? Because uh, a good partner in your life is going to help you uh, prosper and build a lot of cool things. You know, and
Right.
a bad one won't. It's as simple as that. I was just lucky enough to find a 90-point mare.
Well, trust me, Clay knows all about that. 'Cause, yeah, Clay.
Those good ones will make you move too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Make you
Right.
get off your ass and do something.
Where, Dougie? Where's your girlfriend from? Is she from Browning too?
No, she's from British Columbia. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. No, that's the thing. Growing up, when you're growing up on a Indian reservation, the chances are you're related to all the mares. In that herd, you got to jump a few fences to find one that you're not related to.
And he didn't even just jump a couple fences. He went a whole different country of a fence that he went to. Yeah.
You made sure. You made
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome. So what was it like the first, I mean, when you get the call to go to 19 to film some stuff for 1923, what was that like? I mean, going there and, all that stuff with the dress, they dress you and everything. What was all that? Tell us about the whole experience.
I mean, it was pretty wild to me, because I grew up in the country, being a Indian cowboy, and if you like how should I say it, like if you want something, you do it, you get it, you do this, you do that, you do it on your own.
Mm.
You show up to set, and you know you go to the fitting and stuff, and they're putting this costume and stuff on you, and everybody's constantly like, can I get you anything? Do you need a coffee? Do you need a water? And I was just like, I felt like if I say yes, like am I like a spoiled kid, or like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then like, shoot, it's pretty cool. I mean, because I mean, coming from the sticks to something like that, where if you need something, they bring it to you, and you're hungry, they'll make sure you're fed. Like it's pretty dang cool. It was a blessing. Like, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had, and um, it was cool. And then too, like seeing like the movie stars, people that are so famous, like it's pretty wild, and they're just regular people. They're there to do a job, and
Yeah.
it's pretty
It,
cool.
Did you?
I was gonna say, is that how like? I mean, you and Mo probably became quick friends because I've just been around him just a little bit, very couple minutes. But he just seems like a person that's like super down to earth, and he doesn't really seem like when you're around him, he doesn't seem like, oh, I'm an actor. He's just like he's just a normal person. So like, I feel like definitely it'd be easy to hit it off with him, and him taking you under his wing and stuff.
Yeah, it dang sure was. He's just a normal guy. He's an Indian cowboy. He's a rancher, and
Yeah.
really down to earth and knows what hard work is, and
Right.
he's he's just a really really a good person. Him and Sarah Ann both, they've helped me out so much because like, um, hold on, let me turn the brightness on my screen went down, but
Oh, you're good.
anyway, they were super helpful. Like he got a hold of me one day and asked me if I'd be willing to do some acting, and I told him sure. And anyway, I did like a video tryout for this part, and then I didn't hear about it for a long time, and all of a sudden, me and my girlfriend, we were vendors at a Tyler Childers concert, and we were packing up the next morning, and I get a call, and it was a good thing I answered it, and I picked it up, and they said, "Hey, Dougie, are you interested in this part?" And I said, "You know, in still," and I said, "Yeah." They said, "Well, be ready to leave ASAP." And then we hung up, and my girlfriend
No
asked,
kidding.
yeah, she said, "What's ASAP mean?" And I said, "Well, shit, I'm not lying to you. They're probably going to fly us out tomorrow morning." And sure enough, they called back, said, "Can you be on a plane at 6 in the morning tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, we can." And we flew to Texas, and it was it was pretty awesome.
That's
Wow.
cool.
That is way cool.
Yeah.
What's like the sets like, like the when you're doing scenes and stuff, does it feel weird? Does it feel like super fast where you're just kind of like, I wonder what that's going to be like in the movie? I mean, because I'm sure or do you get to see like a little bit of the screen and stuff when it's finally done recording, like the certain scene?
I don't know. I mean, I just I showed up, and I just I guess I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that. I apologize, but I just I just showed up, and they just had me rehearse the lines, and Sarah Ann was super helpful about that. She helped me run lines, and get the language down, the Comanche language and stuff, and um but I don't know, I guess it didn't seem like too out of place for me because
Really?
I was so used to, from all the years of I mean, not all the years, but just since the few years that I've been doing it, sticking a camera in front of my face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not worrying about what people think and just doing what I do, and that helped out a lot. And it it um sometimes it went fast, sometimes you had to kind of keep retaking because maybe something was out of place or whatever. But um yeah, it was really cool, and it was a lot of fun.
So is there, and I don't know if you can give away too much, but is there more? Are we going to see you more in some of these series? You think, as in not just 1923? I know they probably have ideas and future plans to do more of them, but you think you'll, or have they talked to you about doing more, or you think that's a possibility?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't talk to me about it, but like
Gotcha.
I don't know. I figured what the heck was it? I was talking with one of my buddies, Caleb McMillan. He's
Mm-hmm.
Mark Lynette's boy, and he won the
Yeah.
Lindgren Award this last year.
Yeah.
And, Caleb's really like old school cowboy. Like, he just gets right to the point, right to the meat and potatoes of what he wants to say. And he told me, "Dougie, that movie money, you take it when it comes, because they might not ever call you again." And so I don't know if this is if they call again, that's cool, and I'll take it, and I'm
Yeah.
very grateful and appreciative of it. But if that was the last one, I had fun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a good mindset. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How I mean, sometimes, I mean, got to be hard to juggle that and then your stock. And I mean, you got somebody that kind of half feeds and stuff for you too when
Yeah,
you're
no,
gone.
I like what we do is like my Uncle Mouse told me, he said, Dougie, you might have a lot of horses to ride, but remember, you only got one ass.
Yeah, it's
And so I'm fortunate, I got my dad. I wouldn't be able to do this without my girlfriend and my dad and my stepmom, people to hold the fort down while I'm away. And then Mark and Lynette McMillan, the whole McMillan family, they got, the horses that we got over in Washington, they uh take really good care of those and stuff. And if I can't make a rodeo, that's fine. They'll flank my horse,
Sure.
me and Kay's horses for us. And it's we got a really good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Caleb McMillan, didn't he go to Western too? Montana Western?
I think you went to Powell.
Oh, he did go to Powell. You're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah.
But Caleb McMillan is a hand. I mean, from time event to rough stock, it didn't matter. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's I think on his resume it's just a handprint.
I was in Baker. I don't remember. It might have been like 4 years ago now, but it was he must have came in at 2-3 a.m. to the rodeo. Well, whoever he drove with just dropped him off,
Uh-huh.
and so he just had his bedroll and stuff, and he went and he put it all on the. He was gonna sleep on the bucking chutes, like on the the platform. And then it started to rain, I guess, in the middle of the night. So then when we all got up in the morning or whatever, I didn't know he was there. He was like underneath this little, like, barely the only spot that could kind of like cover him. He was in his bedroll. Just, so I'm like, did you sleep? Well, when did you get here? He was like, oh, in the middle of the night, I just put my bedroll right here and, called it good until it was raining. And I was just like, nah, it's cowboy. And then he was in like three events or something. I was like, dang.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this, Dougie, because, and I'm sure in your videos you talk about it too, but for our listeners, you grew up on the reservation, but talking to kids that grow up on the reservation, what's some piece of advice that you would give some kids growing up? Well, I mean, it doesn't have to just be Browning, but any reservation. Some piece of advice to be, successful, kind of like you, and live life to the fullest, because you look like you never have a bad day.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because Indians are pretty clannish. They like being around their own kind, their own people. So you got to be able to get out of the box. You know what I mean? Go and experience some different stuff. The reservation is not the only place in the world. And if you want to do something, go and talk to somebody that's already done it. Like when I wanted to get started and get the business side of what we're doing rolling, I called Clay. He
Yeah.
already had his stuff going, so I called him, and he helped me get rolling. And then what's another one? There's quite a few things I could think about. And you're only as good as the company you keep.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out with the people that are movers and shakers and getting things done. And
Yeah.
and don't beat yourself up if you ever fall short or make a mistake, because everybody screws up. Everybody steps in shit.
Yeah.
And nobody's perfect. Everybody's made a mistake. Everybody's said and done shit that they wish they wouldn't have. Don't crucify yourself over it. You know what I mean? Take the
Right.
lesson and keep going. And just and realize that you deserve good things, and so does everybody else. Even the
Right.
people that piss you off, they deserve good things too, and they deserve to eat. But if somebody's not good for your spirit or your mental health or anything like that, or you know what I mean, they're kind of negative, uh they deserve to eat too, just not at your table.